The air was thick with smoke and the stench of blood. A loud cheer rose from the alien crowd inside the war arena. Rain, the only surviving human soldier, stood tall, his armor cracked, face bruised, but his eyes were still sharp. He had fought 12 alien beasts in the ring. He had won. Barely. Now, the warlord sat high on his stone throne. Thick horns curled from his head, and his golden robe dragged across the ground as he stood. His voice echoed, loud and mocking. "You fought well, human. Better than I expected." The warlord chuckled. "I promised a reward, didn't I?" Rain stayed silent. His hand rested near his weapon. He didn't trust aliens, especially not this one. With a snap of his fingers, 2 guards dragged something forward. It wasn't gold. It wasn't weapons. It was 2 alien women, both in chains. The crowd fell silent. Rain's eyes narrowed. One woman had silver skin and glowing green eyes. She stood tall, even in chains. She looked proud, almost like a queen. Her face showed no fear. The second woman was smaller. Her purple skin was bruised. She shivered, her head down, eyes full of fear. Her legs were weak, and the guards pushed her to kneel. The warlord grinned. "Choose one," he said, "as your reward. You get one. A pet, a slave, a plaything. Whatever you wish." Rain's jaw clenched. His hands curled into fists. This wasn't a reward. This was a test. He looked at both women. The proud one met his eyes with strength. The weak one whimpered, but something in her glance whispered, "Please." He stepped closer. The crowd leaned in. "You want me to choose," Rain said, slowly. "Just one," the warlord laughed. "Yes, pick one. The other goes back in the cage, or to the pit." Rain looked at the 2 again. His heart beat louder in his chest. Something inside told him this wasn't a game. These women were more than. They appeared. He saw it in their eyes. They weren't just prizes. They were prisoners. Living, breathing beings, forgotten, broken, trapped. Rain turned to face the warlord. "I choose both," he said. Gasps filled the arena. The guards looked at each other, confused. The warlord's smile faded for the first time. His voice grew sharp. "You can't. That's not the deal." Rain didn't back down. "Then change the deal, or kill me," the crowd murmured. This human. He wasn't afraid. The warlord stared at Rain for a long moment. Then slowly he smiled again. But it was no longer fun. It was cold. "Fine," he said. "Take both. Let's see how long you last." He raised his hand and waved lazily. "Unchain them. Give them to the human." The guards removed the chains. The proud alien woman stood on her own. The weak one tried, but stumbled. Rain stepped forward and caught her before she hit the ground. She looked up at him, eyes wide. "Why?" she whispered. "Why choose both?" Rain looked at her. Then at the other one, who watched silently. "Because nobody else would," he said. He helped the weak one to her feet. The other walked beside them. As they passed the warlord, Rain heard him say softly, "You just made the biggest mistake of your life, human." Rain didn't answer. He just kept walking. But deep down, he knew this was far from over, and whatever was coming next, he was ready. Or so he thought, because that night, as he sat near a campfire with both women, something strange happened. The proud one leaned in close. Her voice was calm but serious. "You don't know what you've done," she said. Rain frowned. "I saved you." "No," she said. "You unleashed something." The smaller one trembled. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dark. Rain's hand moved to his weapon. "What are you?" he asked. Neither answered, but the fire crackled louder, and the wind howled around them like a warning. He thought he had saved them. He had no idea. They might be the ones who would save or destroy him. Rain woke to the sound of breathing. Not just his own. 2 quiet breaths, soft and close, one steady, one trembling. He opened his eyes. The fire had burned down to red embers. Stars hung silently above the alien desert. The two women sat across from him, staring, still and silent, watching him. The proud one, with silver skin and glowing eyes, had not slept. She sat tall, legs crossed, back straight. Her gaze was sharp and alert, like a soldier waiting for war. The smaller one, purple-skinned and bruised, sat curled up, arms hugging her knees. But her eyes, they were glowing faintly now. Faint but unnatural. Rain sat up slowly. "You didn't sleep," he said quietly. "No," the silver one replied. "We can't afford to. Why not?" he asked. The smaller one flinched at the question. The silver-skinned woman's eyes narrowed. "Because someone will come. They always do." Before Rain could answer, a sudden light flashed in the sky, bright, sharp, and fast. A scout drone. Rain grabbed his rifle and stood quickly. "They're tracking us?" The purple girl whispered. "They never let us go. We're property." Rain cursed under his breath. "Can you fight?" he asked them. The silver-skinned woman stood. "I was built to." That sentence froze him. "But built?" She didn't explain, but her arms moved in a strange motion, and a piece of her forearm slid open, revealing a hidden blade made of crystal and metal. Rain stared. "What the hell are you?" The purple one whispered. "She's the Alpha." "And you?" Rain asked. She looked down. "I was made to follow her." Footsteps approached in the dark. 3 alien guards. Laughing, overconfident, holding stun rods. "There they are," one shouted. The warlord said, "Bring back the girls alive. Kill the human if you want." Rain aimed his rifle, but the silver-skinned woman stepped forward. She didn't speak. She ran fast. Inhumanly fast. Her body moved like liquid metal, her blade flashing. One guard screamed. The second didn't even get to lift his weapon. The third tried to run. Rain shot him in the back before he got far. Silence returned quickly. The silver woman wiped her blade clean on the grass. "I was made to obey," she said flatly. "But I choose not to anymore." Rain stood stunned. "Why now?" She looked at him. "Because you're the first to ask." The purple-skinned girl walked over to the dead guards. She looked afraid, not of the enemy, but of herself. Rain saw her eyes glow brighter for a moment. A strange pattern moved on her arms, like runes under her skin. "I don't want to remember," she whispered. "You're remembering who you were?" Rain asked. "No," she said. "What they turned me into." Rain looked at both of them. Something inside him shifted. These weren't just prisoners. They were weapons. Living tools, made by aliens who had no mercy. And now they were free. At least for now. "We have to keep moving," Rain said. "Before more come." The silver woman nodded. "There's a place far from the warlord's lands. If we reach it, we might survive." "Then lead the way," Rain said. But just as they began walking, the smaller girl stopped. She turned and whispered something to the night. Rain didn't understand the language, but the wind answered back. He stepped closer. "What did you say?" he asked. She looked at him, eyes soft and sad. "I said goodbye to the part of me that was a slave." The rain was red. Not blood, but something like it. Thin, glowing and alien. It fell quietly from the sky as Rain led the two women through the twisted forest of bone-like trees. No one spoke. The purple-skinned girl walked slowly, her eyes always scanning the shadows. The silver woman moved like a ghost, silent, focused, deadly. But Rain's mind was loud with questions. Who were they? What were they hiding? And why did he feel like something was hunting them now? Suddenly, the purple girl stopped walking. Her head tilted. "Do you hear it?" Rain turned. "Hear what?" She pointed up. A low hum buzzed through the air, then a sharp whirring sound. "Drone!" Rain shouted. The silver woman reacted first. "They're close." Rain pulled the women behind a sharp ridge of black stone. The drone swept over the trees, scanning. A red beam of light passed inches from his foot. He held his breath. So did the girls. The drone hovered, paused, then flew off. Rain sighed in relief. But when he turned to the girls, the purple one was glowing. Faint light moved under her skin. Like liquid, symbols, runes, something ancient. Rain stared. What is that? She looked scared. I don't know. It happens sometimes. The silver one stepped forward. She's reacting to danger. It's built in her blood. Rain frowned. You both keep saying built, not born, not trained. What do you mean? The silver-skinned woman didn't answer right away. Finally she said, we were not born like you. We were created as weapons. Rain's voice was low. You were soldiers? No, she said. We were living bombs, projects, experiments, meant to destroy. The purple girl added, we failed their test, so they threw us away. Rain sat down on a fallen log, rubbing his face. So the warlord gave me broken weapons as a joke. Yes, the silver one said. He thought you'd either die using us or leave us to rot. But you didn't, the purple girl whispered. Rain looked at them both. You're not weapons. Not anymore. A strange silence fell. Then the silver one reached out and placed something in Rain's hand. A chip. Thin, metal glowing red. What is this? He asked. It's the command key, she said. The chain isn't just on our wrists. It's in our minds. Rain stared at the chip. So if I break this, you'll free us, she said, or kill us. We don't know which. Before Rain could decide, a voice echoed from the ridge. There, the human has them. More soldiers, too many to fight. Rain grabbed the girl's hands. Run! They dashed into the shadows. Blaster fire lit the night behind them, the purple. Girl cried out, her leg hit by a stun blast. Rain didn't slow down. He lifted her in his arms and kept running. The silver one stayed close, taking out two pursuers with sharp, silent movements. They dove into a narrow tunnel under a ruined transport ship. Cold and dark, Rain placed the purple girl down. Her eyes were dim, breathing shallow. She's not going to last, he said. The silver woman looked at the chip in his hand. Use it, she said. What if it kills you? Rain asked. She met his eyes. Then we die free. Rain made his choice. He snapped the chip. Nothing happened at first. Then the purple girl gasped, her body arched. The symbols glowed bright and then faded. She blinked. The chain, it's gone. Rain turned to the silver woman. She smiled slightly. You broke it, but her legs buckled. Rain caught her. You okay? She whispered. Now we're truly free. But just outside the tunnel, the soldiers were setting up scanners. Rain gritted his teeth. Freedom doesn't mean anything if we die here. He looked at both of them. Can you still fight? The silver one nodded weakly. If you led. And then the purple one opened her eyes. I remember something, she said. A place they tried to erase, a hidden lab. Where we were born. Rain's eyes narrowed. You think there's more like you? She nodded. Or answers. He stood. Then that's where we go next. Outside, the red rain fell harder, but inside the shadows, something brighter had begun to rise. Hope. Asterisk. The scent of burning metal followed them through the wind. Rain carried the purple-skinned girl on his back. Her body was warm, too warm. Her breath was short, uneven. The silver-skinned woman walked beside him, silent, but her eyes scanned the sky every few seconds. They weren't walking anymore. They were being hunted. The night didn't feel safe now. The wind didn't sound like wind, it sounded like breathing. The shadows looked like hands reaching. Rain whispered, they're not chasing us. They're tracking us, the silver woman said. We were made to be found. Suddenly a pulse. The ground shook. A bright light cracked across the sky like a blood-red star exploding. They've sent the seekers, the silver one said. Her voice wasn't scared, but it wasn't calm either. The ones who don't miss. Rain placed the purple girl down behind a rock. Her skin was glowing again, pulsing with heat. She's burning up. She's remembering too fast, the silver woman said. It's hurting her. Then we fight, Rain said. The silver-skinned woman took a deep breath. We don't win this by fighting. Not yet. Rain raised his rifle anyway. A deep growl echoed through the trees. Then a shape appeared, huge, armored in black bone, with long limbs and claws that shimmered. A seeker dot. It didn't walk. It slid over the ground like a ghost made of steel. Silver woman stepped forward, hands raised. We face it together. Rain nodded Dot, but before they could move, the seeker locked eyes with the purple girl. She screamed. Energy burst from her body wild. Uncontrolled Dot, the seeker stumbled back, hissing. The silver woman shouted. She unlocked something. Rain grabbed her and pulled her back. She can't control it. The purple girl's eyes turned white. For a moment, everything around them, rocks, trees, even the air began to twist, shift, bend. Rain could barely breathe. Time felt slower. His heart beat louder. Then, silence. The girl collapsed. The seeker was gone, melted, like it had been erased from reality. Rain dropped to his knees beside her. Is she alive? The silver woman touched her neck. Barely. But she just did what no one else could. What did she do? Rain asked. She unmade something, she said. That power, it was locked inside her. Until now. Rain looked down at the girl, unconscious, blowing softly. She's more dangerous than we thought, he whispered. The silver woman nodded. She's not a weapon anymore. She's becoming a storm. Rain stood and helped lift the girl again. We can't stay here, he said. Not even for a second. The silver woman pointed to the hills. There's an old path. It leads to the lab she spoke of. If we reach it, we might find answers. Maybe others like us. Rain looked back one last time. The ground where the seeker stood was gone. Just ash, no bones. No remains. Whatever power the girl had used, it didn't kill. It erased. He whispered to himself. What the hell did I just get involved in? Then he turned, holding the girl close, and followed the silver woman into the dark hills ahead. Behind them, more red lights rose into the sky. The hunt was not over. It had only just begun. They found the entrance buried under roots and stone. It didn't look like a lab. It looked like a tomb. Rain pushed aside the heavy vines with his rifle. The silver-skinned woman knelt down, brushing away dirt from an old control panel half buried in the ground. No power, she whispered. It's dead. But then the purple-skinned girl, still weak but awake, reached out. Her fingers touched the cracked panel. It lit up. Bright blue. Rain stepped back. She activated it. She's the key, the silver woman said. Because this place, it's where we were born. The earth rumbled. A hatch creaked open with a loud hiss. Cold air spilled out, thick with dust and memories. They entered the underground hallway. Dark, rusted, silent, but not empty. Rain's boots echoed softly as they walked past broken glass, smashed screens, and dried stains that looked too much like blood. They stopped at a large chamber. Inside were pods. Maybe 20, all open, all empty. This was it, the purple girl whispered. Our nursery. Our prison. She pointed to one pod. Her name was still on the glass. Prototype 7B. Sarah. Rain turned to the silver woman. Yours? She nodded and stepped to another pod. Alpha 1. That was me. No real names? He asked. She looked at him. Not until you gave us one. He paused. I haven't. You will, she said, almost smiling. But the smile vanished as they heard something behind them, a voice. Robotic, cold. Unauthorized entry detected. Security protocol activated. From the walls, small machines crawled out, old but fast. Their blades were sharp. Their eyes glowed red. Defense bots, the silver woman said, readying her blade. They don't care who we are. Rain fired first, hitting 2 of them. The purple girl ducked, her skin glowing again. But dim. I can't use my power again, she warned. Not yet, Rain yelled. Stay behind me. The silver woman charged, slicing through the machines. With wild speed, but there were too many. Rain ran to the central console. He slammed his hand down, shouting, "There has to be a way to shut this down." The screen flickered. A face appeared, an old man, pixelated and gray. "Welcome back, Alpha 1. And 7B. You were never meant to survive." Rain froze. "Who is that?" The purple girl answered, trembling. "That's the scientist who made U.S. Dr. Huffle. He's dead, but his message isn't." The hologram continued. "You were created to be perfect, but you failed. If this message plays, that means you're still alive." "That's a mistake," the silver woman snarled. "We were never your mistake. You were." She smashed the console. The bots stopped moving. Silence fell again. Rain caught his breath. "So that's your creator?" The purple girl nodded. "He gave us life, but no freedom." Rain looked at the pods again. Were there others? The silver woman's voice turned quiet. "Yes, many, but only we survived the last purge." Rain sat down slowly. "You both carry pain I can't imagine," he said. "But you're not alone anymore." The purple girl reached out, her hand resting on Rain's. "You gave us something no one ever did," she said. "What's that?" he asked. "A choice." Then her eyes widened. "Wait." She walked to the back of the chamber. A smaller pod sat there, still sealed. Inside, something moved. Rain rushed over. The glass was frosted. Then a soft hand pressed from the inside. "She's alive," the purple girl whispered. "One more." Rain looked at the others. "We're not done yet." And as he placed his hand on the pod, a soft hum began to rise from beneath the floor. Something had just woken up, and not just her. Asterisk. The pod opened with a sigh like the breath of something long forgotten. Inside was a girl. Pale blue skin, short silver hair. Tubes once connected to her back now hung loose. Her eyes opened, slowly pure white. She stared at Rain, confused. Afraid, the purple girl stepped forward, voice gentle. "It's okay. You're not in danger anymore." But the new girl backed away. "Who are you? Why are you here?" the silver woman answered. "We're your sisters." The girl looked at the glowing marks on their skin, then at the lab around her. Her hands trembled. "I thought I died." Rain knelt beside her. "You didn't. You're free now." Suddenly, a sharp pain hit all 3 girls. They screamed at once, falling to their knees, symbols on their skin lit up violently, pulsing in sync. Rain rushed to them. "What's happening?" The silver woman gritted her teeth. "Failsafe. It's activating." The lab lights turned red. A cold voice echoed through the walls. "Protocol Omega, erase all failed subjects." Rain's blood ran cold. The lab had one last order: destroy them all. A countdown appeared on the wall. 60 seconds, Rain yelled. "There has to be a way to stop this." The silver woman pointed to a terminal across the room. "Manual override." Rain ran. The purple girl cried out behind him, "If you fail, we all vanish." The new girl sobbed. "I just woke up. I don't want to disappear." Rain reached the console, but there was a question on the screen. "Override requires 1 life in exchange. Choose human or subject." Rain froze. One of them had to die. Or he did. He looked back. The 3 girls, shaking, suffering, alive. He knew what they were made for. But they weren't monsters. They were just girls, broken, lost, and scared. He made his choice. Rain pressed his hand to the scanner. The option lit up. Human, confirm sacrifice? He pressed yes, but the console beeped. Choice denied. Subject override only. Rain's eyes widened. They won't let me trade myself? He shouted. No, the silver woman said, slowly standing despite the pain. Because they see us as tools. Not you. She walked to the console. I'll do it. The purple girl screamed. No. The silver woman turned to them, her voice calm. He gave us freedom. We don't waste it. Rain grabbed her arm. There has to be another way. There isn't. She looked him in the eyes. Thank you for giving me a name. Rain whispered. I never said one. She smiled. But I felt it. Her hand touched the screen. Subject confirmed. Termination accepted. The lights dimmed. The countdown stopped. Pain vanished from the others. The purple girl fell into Rain's arms, crying. The new girl collapsed, whispering the silver woman's name again and again. But the silver woman just stood, still, smiling. Then she disappeared into light. Gone. Just like that. The lab was silent again. Rain sat down, arms wrapped around both. Girls, she gave everything, he whispered. She saved us. The purple girl said. But we're not safe yet, the new girl added, her eyes glowing. Because something else just woke up in this place, and then a voice neither human nor machine whispered from deep within the lab. Subject Alpha erased. Transferring command to next potential Alpha. Rain stood slowly, and both girls looked at him. The lab no longer felt like a place of science. It felt like a grave. The space where the silver-skinned woman had stood was empty now. No body, no ashes. Just a soft glowing mark on the floor, a quiet reminder that she had chosen to die so the others could live. Rain knelt beside it. He pressed his hand to the mark. She didn't die for nothing, he whispered. The purple girl Sarah stood beside him, her face full of sorrow and strength. She passed her will to us, she said. Newly awakened girl, still unnamed, watched quietly. She held her arms around herself, still trembling. Then we carry it, Rain said. All of it. Just then, the lab lights flickered. But this time there was no warning. No countdown. Instead, a door opened in the far wall, one they hadn't seen before. A soft wind rushed out. Fresh air. Real air. Rain stood slowly, lifting Sarah in one arm, holding the other girl's hand with the other. What's beyond that door? The younger one asked. Rain looked forward. Freedom, I hope. They stepped through. The tunnel led them into a hidden canyon-high walls. Wild grass, blue light shining down from a hole in the sky. At the center was a broken tower, covered in vines, and a signal dish on top. Sarah blinked. This is where the old network connected, a place to call for help. Rain's eyes narrowed. Then we send a message. He climbed the tower, step by step, with the two girls helping him. At the top, he activated the dish. Static. Silence. Then a voice crackled in. Unregistered source detected. State your name. Rain pressed the come button. This is Rain. Human. I have 2 alien survivors. They need asylum. A pause. Then, Rain, we thought you were dead. I'm not, he said. But they saved me, and I saved them. We're coming home. A moment later, coordinates were transmitted. A rescue ship was already on the way. As the sun broke over the canyon, the girl sat beside Rain, quiet, close, safe. The younger one leaned on his shoulder. Will they accept us? Rain smiled. They'll have to. Sarah nodded. Because we're not weapons anymore. We're people. The little one looked up. Do I get a name too? Rain thought for a second. He touched her hair gently. How about Lyra? She smiled for the first time. I like it. A small beeping sound echoed in the air. The rescue ship was arriving. As the light grew brighter, Sarah spoke softly. Why did you choose both of us that day? Rain looked at them. At first, he said, I didn't know why. I just couldn't walk away. He paused. But now I know. It's because you were both meant to be more And I didn't choose with my head, I chose with my heart. The ship landed, the doors opened, the girls stepped forward, hand in hand, Rain. Followed not as their master, not as their owner, but as their family.